Hey everybody, Substatica here. In this video, we are going to be unboxing and having a look at the Wonderfitter M9 Smart VR pistol. I'd like to thank Wonderfitter for sending over this unit for us to have a look at. I'm really excited because obviously this controller is based on the Beretta M9, and I've run the M9 in Into the Radius countless times. And the 92 FS, which is very similar to the Beretta M9, is one of my go-to weapons in the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners series of games. At the time of recording this, the VR-only kit is on sale for $169 USD. The M9 Smart VR pistol seems to go on sale regularly, so if it's something that interests you but doesn't fit your budget at full price, perhaps keep an eye out for sales. And you can always use the link in the description or coupon code Substatica for 10% off, with the bonus that you'll be supporting this channel and my modding efforts at the same time. The M9 Smart VR pistol requires at least Windows 10 as well as Steam, and it supports MetaQuest, PICO, and HTC Vive through PCVR. It connects via Bluetooth and has an up to 5-hour battery life. Now, when I'm running the 92 FS in the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, I always have a National Guard knife with me as well, the K-Bar. So I'm going to use this to help with the unboxing. A little overkill, I know, but my National Guard knife doesn't get as much use as it deserves. Now, the Wonderfitter M9 Smart VR pistol comes in two color schemes at the moment. A white with some red accents and a dark gray with some blue accents. And I think that blue dot on the side of this box indicates that this is the dark gray with blue accents variation. Oh, the suspense is killing me. All right, let's get these accessories out of the way. Wow, that looks amazing. But first things first, we should put it on safe. Okay, the safety doesn't work. This is the safety on an M9, and it is in the not safe position. But I don't think it's functional. Let's go ahead and take this rail off. We can eject the magazine. This is where all of the electronics are, from what I understand. And we can actuate the slide. The slide stop doesn't seem to work. The takedown lever doesn't seem to work, although it does have a pin there. And a button on the other side. That does depress, and it did move the pin, but this is still not functional. The hammer has gone back since we pulled the slide. It's really strange. I've never held a real M9. Let's go ahead and pull the trigger. Okay, the hammer fell. Whoa, and we get a full cycle there. That's a pretty hefty haptic there. Since I haven't charged it, I can only assume that that's a mechanical spring that's providing the recoil. That's crazy. It's important to note that you should be aware of any laws in your area related to products which resemble firearms. Thankfully, the Wonderfitter M9 Smart VR pistol has a few things that set it apart from a real firearm. Primarily the orange tip on the muzzle, but also the blue-gray color scheme and the fact that much of it is plastic. In actuality, when it's fully assembled with a motion controller mounted on top, it's unlikely to be mistaken for a real firearm, and that's a good thing. I'd like to give a shout out to Ian Runkle of Runkle of the Bailey, a Canadian criminal defense and firearms lawyer who was kind enough to answer some questions of mine on the topic. I highly recommend his YouTube channel if legal discussions pique your interest. Personally, I find it very engaging. Just looking for a way to potentially hold the slide back. It looks like the hammer can catch on the slide to hold it back somewhat. I don't know if that's intentional. Probably not. I'll have to ask them about that. Now it seems like some parts of this are metal or aluminum. The barrel looks like it's aluminum. So does the muzzle and this threading. That clicks into place. Now that does not look like a full-size magazine, obviously. But I do like that they have this little loop down here. So you can actually hang an accessory. And we can see a USB port for charging, potentially things like firmware upgrades on the bottom of the magazine. Okay, let's put the rails back on. We'll put that. Oh, we can't. Hammer is back. Do we have a decocker? No. Okay. All right. Half trigger pull releases the hammer, but doesn't cycle the slide and reset the hammer. Now, this is not tracked by your VR headset. You still need to affix your controller to the pistol, and that is done through the rail and this mount, which fits on the top rail. So with the provided Allen keys, we can take these bolts out and we can affix this to the top rail. I guess you could affix it to the bottom rail too. And there are side rails and a little hardware bag that we can use to attach things like a tactical flashlight or a laser sight. So let's open this up, and then this is where we would put our VR controller. Lock that in place. We can hook the strap onto this back portion to secure the controller, and then this entire controller, along with the mount, will mount to the top rail on the M9. That's going to make it a bit top heavy. Now, I'm not entirely sure what this is. I know that there is a mode for this pistol where you can use it kind of like a light gun, and I think that's what this is for. Meaning on a normal TV or on a regular flat monitor. Gonna have to do some reading on this. But we've got what looks to be a tripod mount, and then that looks to be a camera with a little piece of protective plastic on it. Then we have some sort of electronics in here with a USB connector. So I'll read up on this and I'll tell you about it in a bit once I've found out what it's all about. Let's go ahead and have a look at the accessories. We've got a Bluetooth adapter with a massive antenna. I haven't seen one of those in a while, but that's by Ugreen. And it says BT 5.3. So I don't think you'll be having any connection issues with this providing the Bluetooth. But it's not always about the size of the antenna, so to speak. Then we've got a little microfiber cloth. Always a nice touch. quite soft and light compared to other microfiber cloths. I'm not sure what that's intended for just yet. Just keeping your M9 nice and clean. I was just going to use a toothbrush and some oil. Then we've got a USB cable. Seems pretty soft. Should do the trick. It's not braided though. Then we have a bag of hardware. We've got some nuts and bolts, and I think these are side rails in there so that you can actually affix those to the sides of this rail system. And then you could put, say, a tactical flashlight or a laser sight on this. I'm not sure why you would do that, but might be fun. Maybe we'll try that out. Also got some Allen keys. And then we've got the manual. M9 VR electronic pistol. Does have English in it. There are the dimensions and specifications. That's fun. Yeah, so it looks like this is for what they call the big screen mode, which is using the pistol with a flat screen. Well, that is everything that comes in the box with the Wonderfitter M9 Smart VR pistol. I'm going to go ahead and get it assembled, charged up, and we'll try it out in some games. All right, here we are in SteamVR. I've installed the M9 Smart VR pistol driver. I've plugged in the Bluetooth adapter that came with the M9. Be sure to use the adapter that it came with. I think that matters. I've booted up Steam and SteamVR, and I've been careful, as per the instructions, not to attempt to pair the M9 through the Windows Bluetooth settings. The M9 will pair on its own through Steam if the driver is installed, and the M9 is in pairing mode. To put the M9 in pairing mode, you want to eject the magazine. You want to depress the button on the magazine for 3 seconds. The LED on the magazine will start to blink green, and it will turn solid green if everything is successful. You can then insert the magazine back into the M9 until it locks, and in SteamVR, you should see a gamepad appear under your controller. And that is the M9 Smart VR pistol's representation in SteamVR. As you can see, the controller rests on top of the gamepad, on top of the M9. Now, in at least Half-Life Alyx, there is some code that adjusts the position of the in-game weapon so that it aligns with the M9 controller, rather than sits above it. Oh, that feels weird. The tracking's a bit strange. It does seem to appear where the M9 controller is. However, the movement's a bit strange. Probably owing to the fact that it is code that is moving the in-game weapon down from where the actual touch controller is being tracked. It's also a little top heavy, and I can't use that thumbstick to turn, so I'm turning in room scale. Okay, we need to rack the slide there, not the physical slide. That feels good. Okay. I see you up there. The haptics feel really good. I think we're out. Nope, we're out now. Okay. Alright, now the mag eject is a little strange because I have to catch the physical mag or it would fall out. So I'm going to put the physical mag back in, which made a noise but didn't actually trigger the reload. I have to grab a mag from over my shoulder in the game and slap that in, and then I have to release the slide, and we are loaded. So that's going to take some getting used to. I foresee the magazine falling on the floor in my play space a lot. Okay. It's really cool to feel the weight of the M9 controller. It's completely different than a touch controller, and it really does feel like a handgun. And you can probably hear it clicking as well. Okay, we got some ammo left.
Head crab!
I see it.
Head crab! Where are you at?
Where'd it go?
Where'd it go indeed? So I have to figure out what I can actually do with...
Ah! Yep, there it is. Found it.
Okay.
Probably only one of those.
I was going to say with only my left controller, because I can't really access my right controller. Which seems fine for this portion of the game, but if things get hectic, I can see myself screwing up a bit until I get used to this.
Okay, two of those.
Hey, little guy. That feels really cool. Now, I don't have a strap affixing the M9 to my wrist, so that's something just for safety, and so I don't drop the whole thing. Should figure out a way to remedy that. It seems really good for training purposes if you're looking to train with a firearm, because you generally would not have a strap. Okay. Seems to be a slight delay when I pull the trigger. The trigger has weight to it, and it kind of breaks in two places. Whoa. Okay, remember, grab the magazine. When we eject it, I am pressing the physical eject button. Which also takes some getting used to. All right, here we are in the range in Gunman Contracts, which is a mod for Half-Life Alyx. I think the makers of Gunman Contracts are actually working on a standalone game, but this mod is fantastic, and it's perfect for the M9 Smart VR pistol. Don't judge me. Why is that target not going down? Do we have to hit the red? It's been a while since I played this. Do we have unlimited ammo? I think we do. That's nice. All right. That was fun. I'm going to try supporting the M9 with my other hand as well this time. Okay, we did not have unlimited ammo. Shooting low. All right, if you do end up picking up an M9 Smart VR pistol, I highly recommend this range as a way to practice. Let's do that again. I mean, honestly, this feels insane. The in-game sound combined with the haptics is a wicked effect. So it's not the trigger that actually fires the weapon in-game. It's the slide cycling. I can't tell the difference between the in-game recoil and the controller's IRL recoil.
The enemy's right there!
I'm getting used to the reloading. And here we are in Arizona Sunshine 2. I've adjusted the grip option to be toggle so that I don't have to hold the grip trigger to hold my pistol. There is an option for simple reloading, which would be easier with the M9 Smart VR pistol, but I've actually left it on advanced, so I do have to eject the magazine and reinsert. So the controller is a bit above the 1911 here. That's why it has kind of a swing. We'll see how the aiming works.
What's that, Fred? You think I can't hit those targets from here? Fuck you, Freddy. Just watch me.
That feels really good. I guess I'm on a timer. Oh, missed that one. Am I shooting high? Okay, we are out, which means I have to eject the mag. That was the physical mag release button on the M9, so I've caught it before it falls out with my other hand, and I'm going to reinsert it. That doesn't actually insert a magazine, but I'll grab another one from here. A couple more, actually. Slap one in. Release the slide there, and we'll keep going. Okay. Not breaking any records, but it feels really good. All right, we are moving right along.
Don't try to stop me, Fred. That chopper's got my name on it.
Uh-oh. Back up. My reload speed needs some work. But it's crazy actually having to physically eject the magazine.
Everybody be cool down
Climb.
there.
Okay, switching to the controller to climb. Okay, switching back to the pistol. That wasn't too bad. Kind of shimmying up to the controller.
Contact. Here I come.
Are you gonna stay down?
No! Freddy! Fucking you fucking asshole! Don't! No! Fuck!
Uh-oh.
I just want one human being, Fred! Is that too much to ask for? Just one fucking human being! One! Is it too much to ask for, you fucking selfish fuck, Freddy?
Whew. That's intense. Hitting the mag eject physical button just makes it so much harder. And having to catch the magazine. Uh-oh, I am running low. One last shot, I think. That did not go as I'd hoped. Whew. Well, that is something else. Now that I've set up the Wonderfitter M9 Smart VR pistol and tried it out in a couple of games, let's talk about it. First off, the safety actually does move between the two positions. It was just a little stiff when I first took the controller out of its box and I didn't want to force it, but it does move between the two positions, although that has no effect on the functionality of the controller itself. Now, in-game, the recoil felt fantastic. Something about the heavy trigger pull resulting in the recoil of the slide just felt really good, combined with the action and the sounds of the games. Now, because there are no solenoids or any sort of haptic motors that are actuating the slide, you are priming that with the trigger pull, and that makes the trigger pull quite heavy at 16 pounds measured with a force meter. That 16 pounds is the equivalent of a real M9 double action trigger pull. So you are likely going to notice that your finger is getting tired if you are popping off rounds non-stop in a game. Both the grip and the weight of the controller felt really good in the hand. Using the mag release button, it's a very cool experience, although it's going to take some getting used to get that flow. Overall, you are not going to get this experience with any other controller. It is truly unique. That being said, there are some things that could be improved about the M9 Smart VR pistol. First off, the list of games that support the M9 Smart VR pistol is extremely short. And within those games, you really have to adjust the settings because moving your hand from the pistol up to the controller to be able to use the controls is something that you can't do very quickly. And a lot of games are going to need that, including games that support the M9 Smart VR pistol. Now, another note related to the position of the controller being above the M9 Smart VR pistol is that when you roll the pistol in the game, the pivot point is not where you would expect. Because the game is tracking the controller, it feels more like a swinging motion than actually rolling the pistol itself. Now, that might be something that they can improve with software. Another area for improvement is the shot detection on the M9 Smart VR pistol. Contrary to what you might think, the shot is not triggered when you pull the trigger. The shot is triggered when the slide reaches the end of its travel. So there's maybe a 250 millisecond lag between pulling the trigger and the shot actually firing in-game. And the slide is cycling at that point, and that actuation of the slide could move you off target, especially if you weren't aware of that mechanism. While we're talking about stability, I'll mention that since the strap on the controller is affixed here, keeping the controller in its mount, there's no strap around our wrist. Now, there is a ring here for a lanyard of some sort or a strap, and I would highly recommend that you add a strap to this. It really should come with one because you certainly don't want to be dropping this rather expensive assembly. Now, on a similar note, I thought that this whole rail assembly was being kept secure by this bolt and a nut on the other side that fit into a channel on the frame of the M9 Smart VR pistol. But much to my surprise, as it turns out, this bolt does not actually engage with this channel. It's too low, so this whole assembly can slide right off the front of the controller. Now, I have some ideas as to how that can be addressed, but I'll get to those in another video. But that's certainly something to be aware of. Lastly, let's talk about the reload. Now, it felt amazing and really satisfying to be able to press the magazine release, have the magazine drop out, catch it with your other hand, slap it back in, and be ready to go in the game again. But you've got a controller in this other hand, and that complicates things. So it's quite a dance to be able to grab this magazine while still holding your controller, or let your controller dangle and then grab this. So I envision a lot of these magazines ending up on the floor, and you've got your VR headset on, which means you're going to be crawling around trying to find it, probably going to have to take your headset off, and there's nothing worse for immersion than having to take your headset off to find a magazine that you dropped on the floor. I would like to see the magazine maybe come out partially so that it doesn't fall, and then you can slap it back in. And I have some ideas around that too, but again, I'll leave some of these solutions that I'm working on for a follow-up video. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for these areas of improvement on the M9 Smart VR pistol. Well, there you go, a quick overview of the Wonderfitter M9 Smart VR pistol. It provides a unique and engaging experience, but not without its shortcomings. If you're interested in purchasing the Wonderfitter M9 Smart VR pistol, you can use the link in the description or coupon code Substatica for 10% off, and you'll be supporting this channel and my modding efforts at the same time. And if you haven't already, take a minute to click the S in the corner to subscribe, heading for 100,000 subscribers, and I'd love to have you on the team. Also like, share, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the video or the Wonderfitter M9 Smart VR pistol. And if you're interested in getting 10 to 20% off your MetaQuest games and apps, or 10% off your one-shot energy products, you can use the links in the description, and you'll be supporting this channel at the same time. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.